how it goes. So that was kind of my evening, but beautiful nonetheless. It was so awesome to see her. She was glowing and sleep deprived. CPI was amazing this morning. And give us a couple of seconds here. We've got 3 minutes to market open. So that was kind of my evening, but beautiful. Got that. Got that. And now I'm going to go here. Miss Barbara, will you pretty please check our hearts and then we'll get started?
Yes. Father, in the name of Jesus, Lord, we thank you, Lord, for all that you do and continue to do in our lives. Thank you, Father, for your Holy Spirit that continues to guide us, Father. We thank you for your protection. We thank you, Lord, for your wisdom. We thank you, Lord, for this time, this season, Father. We just pray a blessing over all of us, Father, as we just share our knowledge, share our love for one another, Father. We just thank you for your guidance today. We thank you, Lord, for all that you do. We give you praise in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. Ugh, okay, guys. So I will might pop in and out a little bit next week, but for the most part, I'm not planning on trading a whole bunch. And then the following week is also a holiday week. It's probably in everyone's best interest to, take a step back. We've done really well. A lot of us hit a learning curve with futures and everything, which we'll yap about here in a second. But first, let's talk about the setups this morning. So it's kind of funny how this was the level we were targeting. We literally hit that center point, I mean, to the tick darn near. This is 50% of this low to high. We've cleared the 50% of the high to low and now bid the 61. Okay. We've got a lot of room potentially to the upside. So now is it time for the Santa Claus rally that everyone talks about? Now, granted, we've got a lot of congestion here at the 280s, 340s level to where maybe we come chop around and we can still take, we can still do that. New York wants a better buying price than, what they got. Yesterday was still selling. Scared money was all selling. Maybe this is where the buyers were all loading in. Very possible, but I think New York could still want that better price. I know Jonathan was targeting some wicks over here on the daily time frame, so still remaining inbounds down into 24,500s. Is it possible? Yeah, anything is possible. So this morning I'm hoping for a retracement down into this area, down into I think I have the 25,070s, 25,100s kind of marked up to see how we react to buy back up, but we'll see. So now we can go ahead and remove a bunch of stuff. I don't know if magic is on, but we can take a look at some of those things as well of what those are looking like. The news was, I don't know, it could be considered good, bad, I don't know. So use the same direction right now. The same direction of this is down. So that's their 10-year yield, not the strategy I follow per se. And this direction used the opposite is up. So just something to think about. Again, not my cup of tea, but worth looking at. Like I'm always willing to kind of add confluence. 50% November has been taken care of, so I'm going to delete that. We are now officially at market open. I love coming all the way up here to these imbalances. We've got the ETH highs. I would love to see some bit of a flush to the downside, but it looks like we're trying to move up. So going now down to the 2-minute time frame, turning that off. We are pushing up. Doesn't look like she want to give any of it back. Put our indicators back on. She's going. We're on the 2-minute time frame now. We're above the moving average. We've got our 5-minute range drawn up. This is the halfway back from the high to low. And I'm going to go ahead and draw some fibs on here real quick. Not to say we have to get it, but that's going to put us at the 25,100. So it's not looking like it wants to give it to us at all, but it's possible. So something to think about. 25,100s. Let's see. There she goes. So that would have been a nice buy up. Geez, 282s, that's 40 points right off the bat. Beautiful. If you bought at CPI, which is a lot of people's strategy, you made a ton of money. I did that, did not make a ton of money. I used a micro and just got my 200 on my Project X accounts. I'm trying to get away from YOLOing for the purpose of an eval or a quick gain, even if it is just passing evals. I think the most consistent people, they pass evals in the same manner that they trade them, the trade the funded accounts, but with larger size. Now that's something I could kind of get behind, but that's just something I'm kind of paying attention to and working on. So we'll see. Anybody got a bias today? What are you guys looking at? Let me move this down. Good morning, good morning. About $400 away from passing all nine. Whoop, whoop, good job. Good job. Hopefully this new year will be a blessing. Honestly, I'm very excited. I was a little discouraged to see that I still technically made more in my swing trade accounts, my FX accounts, than I did dollar for dollar in futures this year. And I haven't done the whole numbers yet, but that was kind of disheartening. I'm not going to fib because again, I'm spending a lot of money on this side of the industry. And a lot of that I think is still due to copying. And the more I follow or look at or listen to anybody, 99% of people agree you can't copy. Like there's just it's a nightmare. That guy that I was talking about, I posted the video the other day, his first interview said the same thing as he was like, yeah, no, he spent a couple months trying to copy and it was just a disaster. And that's where most of my expenses come from. And not to say I don't have some degenerate, gremlin behavior from time to time, but most of my bad experiences have been with the attempts of copying. So I might have to dump the idea and do maybe little small baskets or brokers, certain brokers at a time, or stick with one or two, one per day. I don't know yet. I haven't decided. I wanted to be the girl who could make it work, but at this point, if it doesn't matter if it works 30 days, if the one day, like the contract switch day, it just puts a bunch of ghost orders on and costs everything. It doesn't matter. The other 29 days that it didn't malfunction literally means zero because you blew the progress in everything. It's gone. Like there's the cost is too high. Like in your FX, if you make a bad trade or make a bad decision or have any kind of bad behavior, it's not the end of the world. It costs you a couple percent, or maybe you have to climb out of a hole, but it doesn't cost you everything. In this side of the industry, whether it's your mistake or a tech mistake or 100 other things, it costs you everything. So you have to start from zero a lot. And I think that's what's hard about this side. Much, much harder. Good morning, Scott. Good morning. Good morning. Haven't seen your beautiful face in a while. I don't remember what day, don't hate me, but if I remember correctly, you have a birthday in December.
Yep, already passed.
Happy birthday. Can everybody wish Scott a happy, happy birthday? Belated, but happy. I
Happy
know.
belated, Scott.
December.
Day. Hope you had a happy birthday.
Thanks all.
Did you guys do something? Did you do something fun? I'm still waiting, guys.
Oh, heck no.
Heck no. Life
It
is too short not
went
to.
walking, same old.
Hey, honestly, I know it's boring and it's not like YouTube worthy, but me and a walk, I'm immeasurably happy there. Like
I, I'm living my best life.
that. That put me in the wilderness and just put me by a beach, put me somewhere where I can see beautiful nature, and I'm okay. I'll walk and walk and walk. Give me some water occasionally and I'll be fine. Maybe some earbuds. Uh, okay, guys, let's see. I like the idea of taking this out. We're breaking out of that 5 minute range right now. That's kind of strange how that is no longer favorited. Not taking this yet. I'd like to take the sell down into the 25 100s, but they might not make this easy. So be careful. Automation is not placed to trade yet. Make sure I've got my stuff turned on and all the right contracts. Yeah, I might have to give up on the whole copy thing. I don't want to. I'd like to be the girl that does it, but
Yeah, just the small basket, I think, is plenty enough, especially when you grow those accounts. Uh, with your skills, I'm pretty sure you could accomplish that with really, relatively no issues.
just a couple accounts and maybe get over the whole needing 20 or 30, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, I hear you. I'm taking it to heart, okay? I honestly am. I'm taking it to heart. I probably need to implement it because the cost is too high. It sucks when
Jenny,
yes, sir.
have you considered entering the U.S. Investing Championship?
No, I probably would though. Like I'm reasonably good. Like even looking at some of the super YouTube famous people, my accuracy is pretty good. Like it's
Well,
not
you
perfect.
can start with whatever you want to start with. You have to have an account it all gets verified. And if you enter that, I think it costs like 425 bucks
That's not
to
bad.
enter. What's that?
That's not bad. Is there a website?
Yeah, I can try to find out what it is.
US Trading Championship, huh?
There are lots of divisions, and some of the divisions will restrict what you can be trading in there, but there are divisions that will allow for anything.
Okay, I would look into
And
that. It'd just be
so,
fun.
if you would be in contention for winning with over 60% for a year.
Well, we got that. Even with my food bars and tech stuff, we got that.
Yeah, so here's the thing. If you do this, that's how you grow your channel.
Yeah, get out there.
And it starts January 1st, so you got to get on it.
Where this is through July. Now June and whatever, June and May, we had I was using Trade Sync on the other tech ones. Those sucked even worse. So those are not, but even then, you're still better than 69, 68%, something like that.
So, even if you don't win, if you are contending, finish in the top 5 or something like that, you're in pretty rarefied air, and it's on a national stage, international stage.
Okay. I
And
like the short
if
too.
nothing happens with it, if you just happen to have a bad year or whatever, no worries. It'll still be relatively anonymous.
Yeah. It cost me, well, it cost $400 or $500, which is decidedly less than I'm spending on any of these firms.
Yep. And the thing is, you have to trade it with one account. So that would have to become your priority account.
Okay. Is it futures or is it?
Uh, it's everything. Can be
Okay.
futures, can be options, can be stocks.
I would do futures probably.
There, I saw somebody else showing the website and I didn't actually look at it, but there's well over 20 different divisions to enter.
And then don't they have like a couple of small divisions and then like a large one? Then they take the winners from that and then the large one. When I get knocked out of one contract there, I'm going to delete the trail on that and just put a flat. Um, oopsie, one is too many. There we go. I got to lock it with a order real quick that I don't want it to trail down too much, but I do want that stop loss in place. Let's see if we can't get down to the 25 100s. But okay.
But no,
Have
I
you?
think you enter in whatever division in which you enter. And, there's an enhanced returns division that you could probably enter.
Okay. I would try that. But it starts January 1st, so it's a whole year, huh?
Yep, for a whole year.
How big of account?
I think you can set it wherever you want it. So you can start with 10K, whatever you feel is the minimum amount you need in order to have your sizing and maneuvering room.
The win is just based off of percentages.
Yep.
Okay. You said what was the name of the tournament again?
The U.S. Investing Championship.
Interesting. I wonder why I never heard of that one. That one must be more under the radar or U.S. Investing Championship. I always hear about the one that
Yeah.
ICT always talks about, which I don't know if even.
Financial,
Oh, the cup.
financial-competitions.com.
I'm gonna get knocked out of that.
Okay. Interesting.
So 2024 Enhanced Growth Division allows for futures and/or long options. Uh, the winner was 90.7%
For a whole year?
for a whole year. That's
That's
for
incredible.
2024.
That's incredible.
Stock division was 353.9%.
Okay, that's 97. Wait, I wonder how many trades they took to get 97%. Like we were in the low 90s, but I've never
No,
been 97. Like that.
90.7.
Oh, I was like, okay, maybe I could compete with
Well,
that.
this
I was like,
this
I
is
cannot
gains,
compete with 97.
but this is gains, not win rate.
Oh, that's doable. I mean, leverage changes everything, obviously. That's doable. I thought you meant accuracy. I was like, I can't do 97% accuracy. Like, I'm not that bold to fib and say I can. I'm not that cool. 97. Could you imagine though, if you could honestly achieve 90% over the course of a year? Okay. And more than like, hey, I took 7 trades. I mean, I'm not being derogatory. I do love swing trading, but like you, let's say you did take a decent amount. Let's just say there's 50 weeks in a year. You took about 4 per week. You're still looking at 200 trades on the year and still manage to get that high of an accuracy. But 90% gains, that's doable. Like that's honestly doable.
Yep. So I just dropped in a link to the 2024 winners.
Hold on, I copied the link. I'll put it in my other browser and paste and go. I think I'm going to exit this. We got 233s. We're down. I'd like to
Oh,
hold a little bit more. Most of my accounts are already knocked out in profit. They hit their profit targets. Um,
so the stock division was $1 million plus accounts for money manager verified ratings. So that was the one where the winner was 354% basically. Growth division or enhanced growth division, which allows futures and long options. That's one that was 90.7, won by someone named Brandy Archer.
okay, nice. Nice, nice. 90% in the air. Nice. Let's see. We got 258s. I'm trying to give this baby room, but it looks like come on, you want to tap into this area. You may as well. May as well give it to me, but no, come on. And so we might wake up first.
I got really lucky on the, one of my entries earlier on the downside. I had to get out and then get in again, and then I was kicked out. I had put in 3 contracts on Tradeovate. Unfortunately, I was on M and Q, and I was like, "Why, with one tick, did I just go up like $300?" I closed that thing out so quick. I said, "Oh my goodness, I'm in NQNA."
See, yeah. Again, it's just little things. You can be really disciplined, and it's like, what just happened? One little tiny thing. But
Yes,
I'm glad it was in
actually,
favor because that would be rough on a 25K account.
yeah, absolutely. And then that's where your psychology can also get really messed up, because if you make a mental mistake like that and it didn't go in your favor, then you're now thinking, "Oh, should I close this out? We'll go back to break even." And a lot of times it doesn't go to break even. It blows your account.
It's the psychology. Like that's what I'm saying. It's the little things like that, the psychology that I'm trying to preserve my mental capital because the mental capital on this side, I'm gonna get knocked out. Close that other order out. Not bad. Not a bad entry. We are sitting at that 50%. But back to the topic, I'm trying to preserve my mental capital because the mental capital, man, again, I could take a bad trade and have I never classified it as a bad day in FX. A losing trade never equaled anything negatively bad emotionally and mentally on the other side of this industry. It just equaled like part of the picture. I was able to digest it better. But a losing trade over here, the psychology behind it, like it messes with your mind. And it's not even the losing trade, it's the took the wrong contract, the stuff got swapped, or these little, apparently seemingly small things that none of them are small. None of them.
Yeah, absolutely. And it seems like it's a lot easier for those to, happen. There's a lot of different variables that can cause that to happen, especially on this side of the industry.
I still like these targets down to the 25 100s down into here. They're looking like we're kind of getting a little bit of a bear flag, a little bit of a retest, but I like the short here.
On that daily, it basically, with the news and everything, it basically tested that, I guess, that gap on the daily candle. So it'll be interesting to see what happens if the bulls end up maintaining and we just get a full retest of this 1 hour candle, sort of that price target that you were looking at, or if it goes back lower. So it'll be
That's
interesting.
I'm really curious. We just hit ETH highs. Like I'm not in this yet. I would consider another short to kind of fill this area, but this, it didn't have the follow through. And I feel like if it was going to have the follow through, we would have sunk down. So I'm not in love with it. I also don't love the buys from this area. I mean, I guess I could. It's not a bad, if that's halfway back. I mean, from not fully overnight action, but from the most recent low to high. I mean, that was a beautiful, we never even came into the 61%, which is great, but I'm not in love. I think to feel more confident, like I've got a pending buy on my FX accounts down. Remember, the prices are different, but down there kind of closer to the 38 and 50% retracement, which is going to kind of put you on FX terms, particularly again, because there's such a variance here, Plexi 24,800s, right? 24,000, even 880s, literally 880s. That's been, so I don't know. I'm not sold.
So if you look at the daily, what's very interesting is that we never created a new higher high, and then from the point where we rejected, this could be a potential for it to actually create a new lower high. So or lower low. I always get those confused, but yeah, it's interesting because also when we did have that bearish trending market, like several weeks ago, it actually bounced right off of where that big bearish candle was, where that gap actually opened up and finally filled. So now I'm curious if it's going to try to actually go back down in that area, potentially make a new low, or if this is where it's going to go to all highs and you have that center rally like you were saying. But again, on the daily, if you're looking at it, it is making like it made a new lower high.
Yeah, it's really rough. I'll pull up the daily here in a second. I'm gonna try this short one more time. We've got the 160s easy. I'm gonna kind of protect this a little bit tighter. I don't need it
Yeah.
to kind of go back. There we
I'm
go.
in a short on S&P and about halfway to my profit target already.
Are you still doing the fair value gap thing?
No, I'm just trading moving averages.
Honestly, I still love them. Oh, I did find something I'll pull up for you guys here in a second. I'm not giving a lot back, guys. I'm not giving it a lot of room. There you go. I'm okay with that. It's just not worth it. I'm okay. I mean, of course, I wanted more out of that, but God, I still think we can. What is my P&L looking like? Hold on. Okay. Again, some of the accounts just won't trade. My Ninja Trader won't, just says no. Okay, anyways, this is what I was looking at. I'm okay with this. It doesn't have the follow through that I want it to have. I feel like if it was gonna sell, we know what it looks like when it wants to sell. It elevators down and escalators up. So I feel like if this wanted to sell aggressively, we'd be getting a little bit more aggressive. So I don't know. Just not in love. I don't want to creepy crawl down. I still think we're gonna hit this 25,100s a little bit lower. This is the indicator. I know a lot of us are getting away from indicators a little bit, but I found it on, hopefully this is the right one. There it is. And I don't love the colors, but I found it on uh Project X accidentally. Okay. Um, kind of like the concept of it. I have no idea how it's algorithmed, how it's coded, but this, along with the moving average, you're staying out of the nonsense. Okay. I just think it's might help a little bit. It might help some people. A lot of people who were looking for buys yesterday, it was crystal clear there was no buying. Okay. Doesn't matter what levels you're hitting, there was no buying. I think it helps a little bit. So even if you're trying the levels, I feel like it's got some potential. So check it out. It's free on TradingView. No idea what it's telling you. It's a good thing we closed. My bigger accounts have hit the targets. Okay, so this are locked out. And then of course my smaller accounts are only up, 154. Actually, hold on. I don't think it traded. Did I accidentally trade that one? No, that must have been automation. I was like, I shouldn't have that account attached here. So the 154.52 is automation. And it was a clean, it just happened to catch the bigger move, and now it's probably locked on the day. But we'll see.
And I trailed out with a whopping $15 profit.
Yeah. It's hard. Hey, Scott, you missed a great. I wanted your input on this. I posted a video in the chat. I don't know. I don't think the guy is actually SMC, but I don't know for sure. He was interviewed by FSP, and he has some kind of a system. And I was like, if anybody can duplicate this kind of math on a spreadsheet, it's probably you. But if you watch it, he created some kind of a mathematical formula that says, and you have to watch it to get the more accurate information. But it says, hey, look, if I have 20 accounts and I'm cycling them all, et cetera, even with a 70% win rate and a negative R to R, meaning like he's losing 2 times as much as he's gaining one, right? So 2 to 1 on the negative side.
Okay.
He still, and he did all the breakdown analysis that this is the odds of like blowing the account based off of, X, if he's losing 400 and gaining two. He did this great little formula, and I was like, that would be awesome because I have spent the last many months trying to get down my accuracy and get up my risk to reward, and seeing that was very optimistic. But either way, he's very systematic. He kind of reminds me of you. He's a brilliant man. Um, he spent the last just whatever 6 weeks or a couple months honoring the math and saying, look, I don't care about anything else. I'm just going to follow this math. He made like 300 or 200 or some bajillion dollars in payouts. And it was really, really cool. So I think you'd like it. And if you can create a spreadsheet that would help us with that math, that would be awesome. That would
So
go.
you drop that where into Discord?
Yep, into Discord.
Which thread?
Public.
Public, okay.
Don't let me double check, but I will check for you. Either way, his thought process and his discipline reminds me a lot of you. Like it just feels like the concept and the mindset you would have, and the ability and the discipline and the understanding and the knowledge. So
Okay, that's the future scalper.
yep. Yep.
Okay.
The guy he interviewed is the one who did this little spreadsheet thing. I guess he works in engineering or in algorithms, but you'll watch it and you'll see, because honestly, if you made any kind of help us with a formula that's like that helps us same thing as Monte Carlo, where you're kind of randomizing the wins and losses, you have no control over that. But he did this thing where it was like, if you do this many times, your odds of blowing accounts at a 65% win rate is high if you have a 2 to 1 on the negative side, right? 2 to 1 meaning I'm losing twice as much as I'm gaining. Then he says, look, this you're gonna blow all of them, 98% chance. But with literally the margin is so small, a 70% win rate and the 2 to 1, you only have like a 23% chance of losing even a single account. And it was really, really interesting. So he's following that math. He got this video right here says 390,000 in payouts. Kind of cool. Very, very cool.
Okay, I'll have a look.
That's awesome. I cannot wait to hear about it. Oh, but here we go. It's bouncing back up. Here's where I'm at on the day. Not bad, nothing amazing, but I'm over amazing. If y'all want the whole truth, amazing is just not that amazing. So there we go. This is where we're sitting on the day. Couple accounts still aren't receiving. Don't know why. At all. This one, actually, two of them. I'm not sure what. Oh, this one also hit targets. So not a bad way to be. That's it. All the same trades we took. Sadly, I think some of these are a couple dollars shy of like that minimum 150 that they need. I don't quote me. Most of the ones on my trade of 8, the minimum is 100, but y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't know for sure. There's just such a big amount of differences. I know Apex is $50. $50 counts as a day. Tried that little short, a baby amount, but protected it. Thank God, because that would have sucked. I just don't think we're going to keep going. This is the halfway back from the low, the most recent low to high. Got some potential in those longs. I am not in love. I'm going to go to a higher time frame because we've got an edge, guys. We've got a really good edge. I'm not in love of, let's just See if I can't clean this up a little bit. Take up all the indicators. There we go. We had our contract switch here. We knew we marginally took up the high, marginally took up the high. This was on Tuesday. Overnight, we really rebalanced the top side. Come Wednesday, we of course rebalanced the entire downside. Big news this morning. So overnight, we've kind of pushed up the entire way. Big news this morning just skyrocketed us. I still think to kind of come down into that 25,100 levels is where I'd be wanting to make a decision to confirm. So I'd want to come all the way down and prove rejection in this area before I was serious about the longs. And then vice versa too. For me to be serious about the sells, I think I'd want to cash out some of these levels, 25,400, fill these imbalances that we filled yesterday because we formed all these yesterday. All that money got left behind. I have no idea where like the sell side liquidity stuff is, the buyer's liquidity. But to me, there's definitely an imbalance here. There's definitely liquidity here. So for me to be super excited about the sells, I'd at least want to kind of come into the 25,300s and prove rejection, or sweep the high and prove rejection, one or the other. Otherwise, we ATR candled down, we ATR candled up, and we're just sitting still. Oh, that's turned off. I was like, why can't I see it? Order blank, 30. Yeah, that's way up there. We took the buy side, sell side. Boom. 2 minutes. Anyone else have a bias of what they're looking for in this particular point? We got our sell, 255s, almost 100-point move to the downside. But she's moving now. Sure wish that was a buy.
S&P is still trading below the VWAP.
SMT or ES?
Oh, ES, S&P, same thing. It's about 12 points south of the VWAP.
What? I don't have that.
Well, maybe my indicator is wonky. Switch time frames and come back. Sometimes that makes a difference. Oh yeah, that made a big difference.
I was like, there's no, I don't
Yeah,
know.
so that was the weekly was showing in the daily color.
Oh, okay, okay. I was like, wait a minute. We're definitely trading above. Didn't even tap into the VWAP though. So yeah, I'm just not sold on any direction right now. Right now I'd be sitting on my hands. So I'm looking at this financial competitions, best of luck, MMVR or USIC 2026. Rules and explanation. Let's see.
Yeah, if you go into rules, apparently they have two major divisions. One is the managed money, where you need to be $1 million or more. And there's a $20,000 for the enhanced performance division. So it says you can enter it with less, but your gains will be treated as though they were on 10,000 or on 20,000.
Oh wow. So you'd be at a severe disadvantage if you don't deposit 20,000.
Right. So with 20,000, it's your straight gains. If you put in 10,000, it'd be like your straight gains divided by 2.
Scaling each position of 97 is MBA. Facts. Who enter late, close one day after. Less than 1 million, no additional funds. She's still pumping, but I'm not in. Can I remove money from the specified account? Yes, but see how to report page. Most of the stuff on here is a video, so I'll have to watch it in a little while. Determining percentage increase. Dividing. So they're doing actual percentage gains, not the way like MyFX Books does it. MyFX Book is actually really misleading. The way that they report gains is not, it's not like, hey, $2,000 is a 100% gain on $1,000. It's very, very janky. It's not the same. It's not like dollar for dollar like this. If you made too large additional or removes cash and not using broker, time weighted returns. So you can add or remove money if you have made.
But you need to report it, and you can't compound that way.
No, yeah.
So, if you can put 20,000 aside and just trade that, it's the cleanest way to do it.
Yeah, by far, because then you're not going to mess up the math so much.
There's a section in the rules about, the rules how to report section, but they want time-weighted returns. Some brokers will do that, but it's not going to be futures. But they say that the calculations are fairly straightforward.
It looks like it is. It definitely looks like it is. Okay, I'll check it out.
So in the FAQ, they have, how will you promote me if I do well? And they talk about, how this can really be a boon to promotion of your endeavors.
Multi-budgets lead to market crashes. Hold on. I don't want to go to that article. Go back. These competitions creating a documented track record. This will help enormously if you wish to manage money, work with a hedge fund, or start a newsletter. We will make every effort to assist you in that regard. Financial competition on financialcompetitions.com each month.
They'll have a leaderboard.
Thousands and thousands of followers. And I'm sure this clientele is different than the clientele from the prop firm leaderboards and everything.
Yeah.
By far.
Yeah. But if you're referring to the retail prop firms.
Yeah, the retail prop
Yeah.
firms. Because it's definitely a different beast.
Looking at some of the names too, it looks like some people who may work out at some of the big financial districts in the world. I've seen a lot of what looks like to be people maybe around the Hong Kong,
Yeah.
Switzerland, or that sort of area.
Yeah, that's for
Europe.
the $1 million plus managed money division.
Mm-hmm. So these are legit like institutional investors or people who are investing big portfolios for clients.
But if you can do well in the enhanced division, you can it would be a way of raising your profile. You're struggling to break through, and you've got I don't know how many people in here today, 16, which is kind of like what it's been.
Yeah, for real.
And your material and community are good enough that it deserves a higher profile, but it's difficult to break through within all the noise.
It is,
And
definitely.
Jenny's not riding around in Lambos, so.
No, I won't be riding around. Maybe when Noah's no longer a threat to my driver's record, I will have a Lotus, but until then, no. I bought
Trend lines more trend lines, I think we'll
I
get.
can't with that. I can't, guys. I can't with the whole like. I also never wanted to be that person either. So, but yeah, you're right. Okay. Honestly, wait, fifth place on here is 12%.
Yeah.
Most of you guys can beat that by far. Like, fifth place on the enhanced growth division is 12%. That's crazy. Brandy Acre, hold on, is 90%, and we're at the end of the year. We could do 90%. We could do that even with automation. And most people don't realize how big of a deal that is. Like if you can average 10% and just stay alive, 10% a month, that's 120% a year. But I forget, we had found this website a while ago. I don't know if any of you guys can remember, but it was like it talked about the different funds and how they've performed. I haven't been able to find it since then. But it was like, hey, BlackRock's done this many percent. This has done this many percent. This CEO has done this and this and this. And if you go look at those gains, and then we wonder why these people on this side of the industry are treating it the way they are. Those people did not make that much gains at all. Like none of them are 300, like almost none of them. I think they have had one year that was like an outlier year, but most of them have been catastrophically bad, in all fairness. And I know that they're kind of claiming dividends and claiming it's the way that they structure their business, but holy cow, none of them are hundreds and hundreds of percent. None of them. So that's wild.
So I'm looking at, let me go to the S&P, and so I want to look at 2024 returns for the year. So 2024, the S&P went up by 24%.
In the
So
whole
looking at the 2024 results, there are people on the leaderboard here that in the enhanced division are below the S&P,
yeah.
all the way down to 3.4%. You could have been a leaderboard just investing in the S&P.
That's what I'm, and reading that book, Simple Path to Wealth, I think was a huge eye opener to me. Like it was very, 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 very eye opening. Because if you think about it, I think a lot of the points he makes is dead on. It 100%. We're rolling over, guys. There's that potential completion of that sell. So if you want it one more time, get in. Original trade idea is still valid. Just do so at your own risk. Preferably, you can wait till we break that little flag, but you don't have to. You could redraw here. Oh, that's tight though. Nice flush candle to the downside. 1009. That's that 10 o'clock candle. Come all the way down to the 100s, maybe. It's 128 points. That's a lot.
Auto Orb caught it too a few minutes ago. It kind of reversed a little bit, but now it's going back down, so it's still in.
Yeah, I don't have, I think my auto orb did great this morning. And again, not every trader day is going to be a winning day. It's just, it can't, okay? I'm not looking for it to be winning or any of the same things some of you guys are looking for. I'm just looking for net green on the week and active days traded that I didn't trade. And then I've completed something that is successful by how I am measuring success. It's very different. Like we just talked about these guys right here, okay? We forget that this is good, okay? The top people in the world, okay, or not the world, but on this competition, this is good. So somehow when we get the 2%, when we tell you, hey, look, I'll create some automation for futures, it'll average you a couple percent a month. People get very disheartened by that. They're like, oh, it's only going to do this. It's only going to give you 5% a month on your $50,000 capital, 2%, risking 0.25% kind of things, and that's kind of what we're trying to build. Only my butt, like we gotta change our mindset a little bit.
Is
That's
this over a period of 1 year? Is that what they're doing?
Yeah, this is in
Okay.
a year, Robert. Like this is
Okay.
in a year. So Dragonfly has beat this in most of these, okay, all of these. And
Yeah, because
yeah,
my Forex Dragonfly, I started at the end of June, and it's already what would be second place for a year on the enhanced
yeah,
division.
yep. So
It's over, I think it's over 80 some percent now since
but
June.
it's hard to get people to see this and then to take it seriously and say, yes, you need to have a system in place. Yes, you need to plan accordingly. Don't try to, everyone wants to make 10 grand on their $2,000 investment. And they're like, well, why am I not rich? Like this right here, we beat most of these,
And
hands free.
even, I was going to say, based on that, if it continues, it would easily be in the top 4 or 5 on the stock division
Yep.
in one year.
Well,
Yep.
that's also, I'm looking at the story that's underneath that. And it said, among participants trading less than $1 million in the enhanced growth division, the winner is plus 482%. So I don't know what that has to do with the graphic.
I have no idea either. I'd have to click around when I'm not distracted. I'm distracted right now.
But I was surprised that the enhanced growth was so much less than the winner of the big
Hedge funds.
division.
That's because there's so many regulations on the hedge funds. You're not allowed to do a lot of different things. Oh, come on, flush down. Just roll over. Come on, give it to us.
Mine already closed. It made, I don't know what it made. It made a decent amount.
Oh, that's the $1 million plus enhanced growth division that got 90.7%. So among participants trading less than $1 million in stocks, the winner was 449%.
Not bad at all. Well, even 400%, I mean, that's more of a challenge, especially in an unfamiliar market and just on different terms, but it's doable. Like, it's competable.
Well, people talking about the less than, well, geez, like the repeated information. Oh, that's in stocks. Okay. So enhanced growth division winner was 482%, but they had, kind of honorable mentions or, people that were still in it. Third place was 311%. And other traders with gains of more than 100% are, and then a list.
Not bad.
So, I just think you could be in the running. So,
Well, thank you. Well, thank you for believing in me. The Simple Path to Wealth. What was the name of that book? Randy, you've got to read that. First off, thank you for believing in me and speaking life into me. And I definitely think it's worth checking out. I don't know much about the Robbins Cup, but I hear that's a pretty viral one too. I don't know why ICT strategies, a lot of people make a lot of money with them. And I'm not saying I see the market the same way. Like to me, an imbalance is an imbalance. Like, but I don't know why. I don't understand the whole deal behind all that. But again, he's entitled to live life on his terms, whatever that equals for him. So I don't know much about the winners of the Robin Cup, but when we looked a long time ago, they weren't that far out of the ballpark. They were not.
Yeah, I don't think anybody ever really came close to Williams' numbers that he did way back when.
What were Williams' numbers?
uh, he traded, what was it, $10,000?
Yeah.
What is like $10,000? In his competition, he traded it up to 2.5 million or $2.2 million, and then lost. It went all the way down to $750,000, and then he brought it back up to 1.1 million by the end of the year.
That's
Dang. It's quite a swing back and forth.
Yeah, he was interviewed on, what was that, Titans of Tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
What's his first name?
Larry.
Larry Williams?
You know the actress Michelle Williams?
Yeah.
That's his daughter,
Yep.
Oh,
and she
okay.
won the competition as well.
She probably learned everything from him.
I'm sure she did.
That's who actually ICT says is his early mentor before he created his or figured out the algorithms.
Yeah. I have to specify Larry Williams trader because the first thing that pops up is a rhythm and blues singer, so it's not him.
And when somebody asked
Oh, there
Larry
it is.
Williams if they'd ever heard of ICT, he said, "Who?"
ireallytrade.com is his website. Okay.
Oh, I watched Larry's interview. I think Jonathan, you shared it. 1,000 to $1 million in trading futures in less than a year.
Mm.
You say
Or
1,000?
that's 10,000. It's 10,000.
Okay.
That's still incredible gains. That I would be aspiring to that. If I recall correctly, he said his obviously not for this particular competition, but his optimal risk per trade was 4%, which is dynamically higher than industry, conversational standards, which I found interesting, and I found it validating because 1 to 2% often doesn't feel like you have enough skin in the game. Like for my personal account, okay, often doesn't feel like it's enough to justify that money sitting still. It often doesn't feel like I'm fully invested, and worse off, it often gives me an opportunity to add in, which is something I try not to do. Um, I mean, I know we use a martingale-ish kind of grid-based system in some of the stuff we use, but for my manual trading, I feel like that's gremlin behavior. Like you're right or you're not, and that's that. I mean, I do know there's a lot of sound strategies where people grid base in, or they'll take up to 3 entries within their zone, at different levels. I mean, X amount of percentages and points apart. But to me, I like the idea of like 4, 7%, that slightly higher risk. And granted, my stop is big, so I've got plenty of room on that to play out. And like, I like that whole idea of 4%. It kind of solidified what my concept was on some of my trading manually. Hopefully we get this rollover. I turned off the trail on this last one, seeing if we can't get that flush down to the 100s, that's a huge trade, but we'll see.
I learned something kind of unique yesterday. I was in another webinar thing, and somebody had mentioned, and I didn't know this about TradingView, because sometimes people have issues with this when they do contract rollovers. It seems like while they're updating, some of the time frames don't update. How can I say it? All the time frames don't update at the same time, because sometimes then I actually saw this happen where they had the current contract price, but when they switched to a different time frame, it showed the previous contract price because it was still updating everything. And I didn't know that would actually could happen.
So I told myself, I think last time they had a contract switch, I was using Trade Syncer, which was a catastrophic mistake. Obviously, this time I told myself I wasn't going to trade much, and I was really disciplined in it. I probably shouldn't have traded at all because the differences are huge. Like, remember, we're trading the mini version of the micro version, so the full version we don't even trade. The mini version, which is the larger one for us, is still the mini from the major, right? So we're getting the leftover of all these contract switches. I know
Yep.
it's something to think about. So we talk about variance and lag. It's a big difference. And if we put on this adjust contract, if you're using key levels or percentages or anything like that, it's going to be off dynamically. Like, and it was. Even watching FX, because I was watching FX a little bit more during this time, I was just amazed at obviously how smooth FX was in comparison to the future markets during that week, because it was. FX was clean. There was not as much foolery with all this because the chop day was still chop, but the contracts don't switch that way. So it kind of digests it all a little bit differently, if you will.
And what made it worse, we had NFP and now CPI and all in a contract rollover all within like 3 days. So
Yeah, I think this whole week has been interesting. If we can't break this level, we're not going. So
I do have a question if you don't mind sharing some information.
possibly go ahead.
On your, it's an easy one. On your Apex Micro, you said you use a daily profit limit. Do you mind telling me what that is for reference?
On that one right now, I've got a bigger buffer. So I've used 100, 200, or 300. So right
Uh-huh.
now the ATR is really high. You can probably have it a little bit higher, but during some weeks you probably be better off putting it just at $100. And I know that's
Okay.
low, but remember, if you have once you get everything underway, let's say you use CPI to pass the accounts or whatever your news thing was that you were doing.
Yeah, I did it again this morning and passed another 9 or 10 of them, I think.
Good job. Good job. Like, so then you've got some past accounts. Like the hard part again is the trailing drawdown. So your
Yeah.
best bet is just to build the account up. Remember, with Apex, you just need the $50 per day to count as a traded day. So even just to prove that you can maintain the accounts, which again, Robert, this is nothing about you. Some of the
Oh,
best
no.
traders in the industry have not maintained accounts for 90 days. Okay.
What not?
It's
It's that in theory the group, the 5%ers, the prop or whatever. That's where that term comes from, because they say 95 on average 95% of people fail.
Yeah. Well, what I want you to know is that, 99% of people don't maintain, even the ones who are winning and withdrawing, they're struggling to maintain these PA accounts and these funded accounts for more than, 2 to 3 months, which to me is very difficult to wrap my head around. It gives me the ick. Well, I tried to give it more room, just couldn't get the rollover. So, um, but I'm saying
Yeah,
that they don't, you can't let it like defeat you so much. It's going to be a process. Once you have the PA accounts activated, just maybe do two at a time. Maybe set a profit target of just $50 a day. I promise you 90% of the time you're probably going to hit that. The hardest part, especially right now with the candle close not functioning as well as we want and kind of trading off of the three-part system, is going to be that trailing drawdown, which on one crappy
well,
day is going to eat it up.
even now with it still being in beta, I still think it'll do $100 a day easy.
Yeah,
Just by what I've noticed. Even I had one trade this morning. It looked like it. Of course, I'm still not looking at the chart. I'm just looking at the copier. Just over 300 ticks on one trade. It made $156 on one trade on one micro.
that's awesome.
So that's why I was asking what that limit was, because I want to go in and set some limits that way, because I'd be done for the day right now.
There,
Actually, I am done for the day right now. It's still over 100 bucks. So,
mine's at 370. Hold on. And no, not every day is that big. Today just happens to be. Um,
or like yesterday, and here's this internal conflict I have, and I know how you're going to answer before you answer probably, but there's a logic. It's like, well, maybe you should let it run more in the afternoon to make more than the 100 to make up for future losses, but that may be a little bit too risky
it might be.
because you
It,
could lose it in the afternoon like I did yesterday. So,
so that's how it's performed today. And no, not every day. Like I lost $100 yesterday. I think I closed negative 100, which again, the biggest issue with Apex is
and you're using 2 micros on that one, it looks like.
the trailing drawdown. Okay, the trailing drawdown is what gets you. Like,
Yeah,
so that's why I'm suggesting maybe just work on keeping the PAs. So if you keep them, target at $50 a day. Again, you're probably going to blow a few on trailing drawdown. I wish I was lying, but it's just the case. Let them build up a buffer a little bit. And at $50 a day, the buffer is going to build slow, my friend. It's going to build so slow. Okay. But it's doable. And then you've got some more room that you're not as worried about your trailing drawdown. So now you can say, hey, look, I'm going to target $100 a day. It's not a bad
right.
recipe. So that
Yeah.
video again we just referenced, I posted, the guy is doing a negative R to R with the 70% win rate. I think the win rate on this is averaging better than 70%, but again, the drawdown is just it's icky still. So there's a lot of potential, but it's just I don't know, we'll see. I might try out Traders Post IO again. I didn't like them last time I tried them, but I might try them again
What are they?
instead of Pick My Trades. Because Pick My
Oh,
Trades
it's
right
a,
now
it's
is
a
ridiculous.
trade placing service. Okay.
So it's very comparable to Pick My Trades.
What's it called?
Traders Post IO.
I'll do some research. And I'll do some research, get feedback, see what other people say or whatever.
Yeah.
Traders Post. There we go.
All right, we got a nice W, bounced off the VWAP, kind of didn't fully touch it. I was happy with this sell down. If we would have lost the level, I would have been much more excited, but we didn't. I could have got more out of both of those trades that I got, but I protected and was a good capital preservation, especially at this time of year. So those are the entries I have on the day.
Yeah,
Those are,
legitimately went into consolidation. The last, like, if you look at the 5 minute, it's just consolidating.
yeah, it's just not doing
It
much.
hasn't picked this direction. Um,
It looks like,
the conversation that you guys were having, it was sort of related to a question I did sort of want to ask you, which is more so a question that I guess can be attributed to like really for the whole group or anybody who may listen later on. But Jenny, since we're getting close to the new year, and I know everybody has their own goals and everything that they're trying to do regarding trading in this industry. Specifically as far as for props, since that's predominantly what we're trading normally, what would what would you yeah, I guess could you line out a game plan for people who are either already have passive evaluations or are trying to pass evaluation and get over the hump and sort of have a head start before you get into the new year? What would you do as far as if you're just starting from scratch? Let's just reset the book. start from scratch, or if you're in the positive, start from positive. But what practices and what should you do for the next upcoming weeks to build that momentum to possibly either get your payout or be in a nice position where you are going to get your payout coming into the next year?
That's a really good question. Okay, so assuming you're starting from zero, but let's say you have a little bit, you have a strategy, you have an edge, you've back tested it, you have some kind of entry and exit method, game plan. So that part notwithstanding, because you need that, right? Period, 100%, you need that. I think step one is you need your couple accounts. Don't do more than 3 to 5. Like set out what your goals are, right? Set out what your budget is, how much you're allowed to spend, and then live by that. Act like it's life and death. And that's hard, especially in this industry because it's so gambly. But set out a budget. Say I'm only allowed to buy one eval a week, okay? Because some people are in here buying a bajillion evals in a week. It's wild. So maybe one eval a week. I'm not allowed any more than that. But budget is first for me because output is equally as important as input, and people forget that in building wealth. But only one a week, start with your 3 to 5 at the most. Pick a couple of firms or pick just one firm even is probably the better way to go, seeing as how copying trading is such a nightmare. That's number one. And I know that sounds like not a rule, but it should be a rule because it's where people are failing. Your expenses are too high on the month to continue the journey throughout the year, and you can't sustain it. So that's number one. Number two, go small. Like very, very, very small. You probably have to do micros. And I get it. It's hard to hit the daily numbers with the micros as easily, but it's also a lot harder to blow the account, including with human mistakes and entry mistakes and tech mistakes and everything else, which are going to come, period. No matter how you look at it, plan on them. They're going to come. So trade small. Um, number two, that's number two, 100% is plan on trading small. Plan on it taking quadruply longer than you think it should. So that guy on that interview we posted in the public chat, he said it's he's committed to the math, right? So if the prop firms are telling you you can get a payout in 5 days and that's what you're targeting, that's why you're failing. So I super agree with that. Instead of trying to get the payout in 5 days, why don't we start looking at it like, hey, we're not trying to get the payout in 5 days or pass in 5 days. We're trying to trade this like we're trading an account. And
Just
that
get it when you get it. Yeah.
yes. So stop
Instead
with
of
the 5 days.
like with Apex, instead of trying to do the max 2008 days, just take more than 8 or whatever how many days it takes to get to whatever 2000, whatever you want to do, and then do a withdrawal.
Yeah, there you go. So number one is set your budget. Number two, trade small. Number three, increase your timeline because if you don't increase your timeline, you're going to end up, that's how you're going to break rule one and rule two. Okay. 100%. Your timeline needs to be longer. And that's coming from somebody who I'm a very good trader. It's a mind mess, I know, but if you don't increase your timeline, you're going to be forcing that $50 on a day where I want one more sell down. I'm only 50 bucks from a payout. And then I blow it. I buy more evals. I try it up in size. I blow, just it's a never ending cycle. So one, budget. Two, trade small. Three, increase your timeline for how much you want it to, how long it takes you to happen. And then four, be careful. Like I like the idea of having maybe 1 to 2 strategies and maybe as many as three, just because on some, let's go to a bigger time frame and turn everything off. Just because on some weeks, let's be honest, on some days, the market, we're not trying to take crossovers and JGSs so much in here because it's a chop zone, right? There's no way around it. You're going to get chopped up, right? For here, you have to look at levels and be kind of bidding, kind of a little bit more blind, take what you can get and get out. Whereas on a different day where you've got this kind of beautiful, up move, you get this clean break, you don't have literally anything stopping you until you get to rebalance this zone. You can trade that, differently. So maybe having 1 to 3 strategies is a good arsenal thing. I think 1 to 2 is better, but three is fine. No more than three. This is I've got 3 different ways I'm allowed to enter the market. And if I can't find my entry in one of those, I simply don't enter. So discipline and, having the 3 different strategies is number four. Um, Number five, be wary of YouTube because it is ever changing and a lot of it's clickbait. So YouTube is a great
What if I
resource.
told you that wealth isn't?
It's like 98% of it's clickbait, I think, at least.
Yeah. So like if most of it's clickbait, so it's not just that, but it's also some of it's irrelevant. So I'm going to use something that I have a lot of respect for and I admire, but I think it's super important. We watch a video and then we swear by it. We say, so and so said to do this at this, and I'm going to do this and this, and it's going to work. There may be truth and not truth or whatever in that, but the truth is The biggest truth, the only important truth, is the fact that he recorded that 2 days ago and is now doing something different. He recorded that a month and a half ago and is now doing something different. And I'm going to use an example for something that, again, I have a ton of respect for, and I'm kind of wanting to do the math myself. But the guy that FSP interviewed, he said I only watched interview two because I told you because I was kind of taking a break from YouTube for a while, which I was, and I still need to, although I'm a little bit back on it. Uh, I digress. The part two, he said he's only using micros. He doesn't have a hard stop. He goes over a couple of things. He's got a negative R to R, et cetera, et cetera. Part one, which was only a handful of weeks ago, you guys, only a handful of weeks ago, had a dynamically different story on using minis, the account sizes he was buying and why they're better, how he's doing his stop losses, how much he's targeting versus his risk to reward. And again, I have a ton of respect for a lot of the information provided here, but I just think so much of it is lost in the sauce and it's ever changing. So if you watched part one and never saw part two, or didn't know about part two, or vice versa. In my case, I saw part two and never saw part one. Like you're very misled. And then you're swearing by something that you don't even understand the process he took to get to that decision. So I think at the end of the day, there's this article, there was a famous investor who said, look, even if we posted our trades, our entries, and our sizes and everything in the newspaper, 90% of people following them would still fail. And the reason behind that is because the psychology, there's just so many interpretations, entries, there's so many things that go into that. So I think the last final step is you have to, aside from me and anything other than a burning bush, and I use that expression often, you have to find your own way. So we can give you a strategy, we can help you build a system, we can help you build the math. I'm big on the math, okay, which I guess would be my number six, would follow the math. But it's more than that. You got to find the process that lands you on the decision to only trade micros. You have to go through the pain, okay, and the lessons and the pluses and the minuses of why we landed on I'm only doing the 2 minute time frame now instead of I'm looking at the one, right? Because if I just tell you to only look at the two, you don't understand the reasons. You've never went through the lessons. You've never went through the process. So whether or not you follow it, your process isn't going to be the same. Your outcome and your profits aren't going to be the same either. So I think number five is you've got to find your path in that. And you can use levels in my areas of interest. You can use a version of JGS, a faster or slower moving average, or fair value gaps or imbalances or breakout ranges. You can use inside candles. You take one trade a day with that inside out candle indicator, buying, let's say, 3 trades a day, you're going to be net profitable in a week if you just are disciplined and follow the system. There's no way you're not, okay? There's no way you're not. The accuracy on that thing is so high, okay? But you have to find the process there. You have to understand, wait, I got the alert now. I entered here. I was too slow on my stop loss. You have to go through the ebb and flow of the process of getting there because most people don't do that. They follow somebody on YouTube who may or may not even be doing the same thing 2 days later, and then they start to swear by it. And now you're 90 days behind somebody else's 6 month journey, which makes you a year behind where you could be if you just built this process up inside of yourself. So I think that's super relevant. And number six, I think, is follow the math. The math says it's there. I like this. Scott gets all the credit for this, but I liked all the compounding sheets we had in FX, and it really kept me grounded. It kept me focused. It kept me believing. Wait for it to load here. But this is just a version that kind of adds losses, right? You can have your $1,000 and you can apply the same kind of concept with our prop firm farming spreadsheet, if you will. But honestly, this is very, very possible. You don't have to be perfect. You don't need 100%, but you got to follow the math. And the math says you got to cut your losses. The math says you can't risk more than X amount of percent, whatever that is for you. The math says I can afford to take this much in a day or before I blow my account. And that's the math we've got to follow. Like follow it long term and you will get your payouts. It may or may not be the 6 and 7 figures, but that's kind of the path that I would be following. And I know it all sounds so rudimentary, but it's not. It's probably the biggest part. If you're overblowing and spending accounts, you don't have the willpower, you don't have the belief in the industry. If you're out risking, you can't handle the oops, the market did stuff. Okay. You just those rules right there. Okay. We probably should have been using AI to write those down, but yeah, that's what I would be doing. Because my
And
goal, go ahead,
I
Robert.
was gonna say, I was gonna say that's a compliment on your behalf because most of these people on YouTube will not live stream any of their trading at all. I've
Right.
challenged them. I said, I dare you to live stream trade. There's a few people out there that will, and to me, well, number one, that's being open and honest about it because if you watch some live stream, you can see live whether their stuff works or not. And when I've sent these referrals to people, and I tell them that you live stream your trades and stuff, they're surprised. They said, "Well, nobody does that." I said, "Well, she does."
Well, I honestly do. Like, I don't always show like my even with FX and stuff. Like, I showed here's where I'm at. I did everything on my demo account and did everything offline.
And
But either
I,
way, like we show where we're entering, we show where we're not. But honestly, Robert, what I need you to know is that's not even enough. I know people who do live stream. They'll live stream and they'll post their winning trades,
oh
and
yeah, yeah,
in,
but
in
they
their
don't go through the details like you do.
in their losing and they blew every account. This actually happened yesterday. And I'm not going to name who. Like they're Fibonacci experts, and that's the only reason why I know about it because I'm trying to, learn some different approaches to Fibonacci. But I digress. Um, Seriously, you'd be surprised. They post on their Facebook the winning trade they took on the paper trading account. They blew 70
Yeah,
evals, like
yeah.
70 evals in 5 hours trying to buy. And this was
And
literally yesterday. So.
when I did the referrals, I do that as well. I said, and she'll flat out show you if she wins it, she'll show it. If she loses it, she'll show it. And it's not demo accounts either.
Well,
I'll tell them that. And I think, I don't know how many people's actually came over. I haven't heard from any of them, but I try, you know.
Well, I appreciate it. Sincerely, I do. Guys, that's the other thing. I think one of the biggest reasons I had so much success with FX is I had a little small group of people that, I love and adored. We created a couple of cool strategies. We stuck with a couple of things. And I didn't learn, and maybe to my betterment, maybe to my weakness, I can't say. Well, only time will tell. I think it's to my betterment. I did not YouTube dive into every interview and strategy and this one candle formation does this. And I'm not saying some of it's not great content. Some of it is incredible. Like their capacity to teach, their capacity to inform, their excitement. It's amazing, don't get me wrong. But I also think we get lost. And everyone now is trying to look for, well, so and so, Scarface, who by the way I love his approach to things, says this, and SMC says this, and this guy says this, and this guy says that, and Jenny says, and now you're looking at the chart going, I had an idea of what to do. I can't do it because there's all these mixed signals. And then you try to fade them because now you're feeling cocky, and then you tried not to, and it's a mess. Versus I'm gonna find that goes back to whatever that rule number 5 was. You've got to pick your couple of methods. I don't care if it's areas of interest, Fibonacci's, JGS, breakouts, orb of some version. Find your strategy. And then the hardest part is just to trade it, knowing not every day is going to be profitable. Not every day for me is profitable. Like I get chopped up sometimes for my own gremlin behavior, sometimes for whatever. Like I'm probably going to have to fix all the Blue Guardian accounts again. They're not.
Did you say gremlin behavior?
I call it gremlin behavior. That's what I'm naming.
Okay.
That's my new word is gremlin behavior.
I get visions of the movie from the Gremlins from the 80s when I hear that.
Uh-huh. That's how I
Yeah,
feel
the
about it.
alter ego, the cute, and then you have that gremlin inside of you.
Yes, honestly. It's it's
Yes.
rough. So
For
when I
me, I'm more old school where the old cartoons, the Looney Tunes, you have the devil on one shoulder speaking in your ear, and you have the angel on the other shoulder speaking in your other ear, and they're always opposite.
yeah, I know. Nope, it's a gremlin, I promise you. It's like I think of the little fur babies who's all cute and innocent and sweet and helpful and doing all the right things. And then when I see that tilt come out, which I didn't even know what that word meant until this year. Okay, I had no idea because I wasn't following all these things. So when I see that tilt behavior come out, I kid you not, it's like a gremlin takes over my brain. I have no understanding, none. Because
So,
I,
so,
in general, am a disciplined person. Like I cannot understand what part of my brain says, ding ding ding, here's your sign. I
so
have
the tilt is the equivalent of when you feed a gremlin after midnight.
yeah, much. That's the chocolate croissant that just took over, I guess. I don't know what to tell you. No idea, because it's rough. It's rough out here. But we were missing the buys. We had a nice, we based out beautifully. No, not a big retracement. So my buys never activated on my FX stuff. I'm okay with that. I got some sweet buys in all yesterday though, so I'm gonna delete
Thank you
that.
for that, by the way, Jenny, because yeah, I think that's a really good universal question and answer that you gave to that question to help because um, I know specifically too, like a lot of people can get very vulnerable around this time of the year, and then the new year. Once that starts, you're setting those new goals, and if you had certain goals that you didn't reach, or even if you reached certain goals but you felt that you still should have been at a higher standard than what you had anticipated, sometimes you can lose sight of the progress that you have made, or the day-to-day progress, because you're looking so much at the major goal and you're not looking at the small goals that you've done on a regular daily basis. And those goals can even still be, even if you're taking a loss on the day, as long as you followed your system. Because again, it's like you mentioned, it's about following the math, and the math has negative days and positive days to ultimately add up to where you're ultimately trying to be, or compound to. So it's really good to take light of that. And then that also all coincides with YouTube and everything, because everybody always puts these godly numbers, and a lot of times it may not be as transparent. But if you had an off day and you see other people who are winning, that can affect you, and then maybe make you go on tilt or do something outside of your trading plan, or outside of your risk management. And then you're starting the whole process over again. I think that's probably the worst things about this part, and then especially playing the prop field, is that stuck in a loop where you gain so much traction, then you lose the traction, you have to start over again. And as soon as you're coming back, you're sometimes may look at the past and you're trying to get back to where you were, and then you lose all your traction and all the momentum that you have, and you're back again. So it's like you said, just extending out the time and giving yourself a little bit more grace in the period for meeting those goals, and then just taking it day by day, and then doing the small hits, and ultimately adding that up. Because again, we have to really look at this like a business, and long term, just like that cup, and gaining those percentages over time, and that's where the longevity comes in.
It is. I think highly though. I set out on a journey to get good at these prop firms. I'm going to reluctantly a little bit because I think dollar for dollar. I mean, obviously it's viral. It's a great concept, but I think truthfully, dollar for dollar, you're still better off on your own money, like 100%. There's no way around it. There's just no way. Because again, if you make a bad decision on your money, and provided you're a mediocre, okay, an average Joe trader, mediocre trader, you're not costing yourself 500 or $2,000. You're costing yourself a percentage of your account, and then you come back tomorrow. Like long term, talking about our goals, and you're right, people get kind of discouraged, like, hey, you didn't hit it what you wanted to hit. I was pretty confident I would hit, a lot more in prop firms than I hit this year. I'm not gonna fib, I didn't. I mean, I cleared six figures, but with what I spent, that's still not cleared six figures after expenses, which is not horrible, but it's nowhere near what it should have or could have been, given how much capital in. So given the amount of capital I'm trading at a time, that percentage gain is lackluster at best. Like that percentage gain is almost laughable, because remember, when you're trading that many accounts, you're kind of trading millions of dollars potentially. And I know there's a lot of rules and stuff, and I can attest a lot of that to learning curve. Copy trading is a huge was probably half of the year's worth of a hit trying to navigate all the copy different stuff. But either way, I understand the whole getting discouraged thing, because a lot of times we end the year realizing maybe we didn't accomplish as much as we wanted to. But the silver lining is success is just a collection of a lot of little mistakes, right? If that's what success is, and you start to look at it like that, you're already more successful, because now you've got that collection, right? You've got those next new stair steps. So if we keep on that mindset that says, hey, this year you learned a lot, we do have to go into the new year, obviously, with some changed behaviors. There's no way around that. In my case, it might be I don't get to copy trade. Like in my case, it might be I had to switch some things around to hit those next levels. In somebody else's case, it might mean you have to size down, or you have to size up even, right? You have to take less trades. It might be you have to be more disciplined in your entry or closing your stops. What I don't know where you guys are all individually, but I would encourage you and implore you to take a look at some of the results, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and say, wait, if I could just improve a couple of things. And remember, we can't change 100 at once. It's a failed strategy. Psychology says it doesn't work. It doesn't, okay? With the exception of huge life events, typically people don't effectively change in those short bursts. Instead, take one, two, maybe three things and say, hey, look, I can't get everything right, but I can get these three things better. Maybe it's I'm going to hold my stop firm. Maybe it's I'm only going to size this much per available capital. Maybe it's I'm only going to buy so many firms in a week. But wherever you're at, pick those three things, okay? Or maybe I'm going to time down my time frame. I'm not trying to pass it in this many days. I'm not trying to get to the payout in this many days. It's okay if it takes me an extra day. It's okay if it takes me an extra couple of days because the consistency rule. So whatever that might be, and then put it on your billboard, put it on your desk, tape it to the wall, and shut everything else out. Because that's what Warren Buffett says, right? He says, write a list of 25 things. Now, the top five, okay, that you matter the most, that's what you're going to work on. And then there's other versions of the story where he says, okay, of those top five, which one is most important and significant in your life? Choose the one. And that's his whole approach to life. So it works here too. So 25 things you're doing wrong, we can't fix them all. So pick your top couple and say, okay, I'm going to work on improving and just making these three parts better. Can't fix everything, but these three parts I'm going to get better, and I'm going to make sure by the end of next year I've got really, really high discipline on this. I'm 80, 90% or better on these parts alone. And at the end of the year, you still might not be where you want to be. I know that's not what we want to hear, but you'll be a lot freaking closer than you are right now. So I think that's a great recipe too.
I predict all of us in 2026 will do a lot better, including you, just because this is the first year of doing it, and a lot of it was a big learning curve, plus the copier issues and everything else. So I think 2026 will probably end up being a lot better just because of what you learned from 2025.
Yeah, but here, let's do the math, guys. It's something that I'm hyper aware of. If I go to just, let's say, one to two firms, I might do better withdrawal wise, but like I won't put up these numbers because unless I'm doing Apex, which we know Apex is the Apex literally, um, I would need more accounts.
Apex is the apex. That's
Yeah,
probably a good name. So
yeah, it really is. It is the epitome of the entire prop firm space. But I'm excited about it. They are inevitably making me a better trader. I'm getting better at closing earlier, protecting my capital, which just means smaller trades, but I'm okay with that overall. I'm gonna go make breakfast. Hey Scott, it was good to hear from you and see you. I am excited to hear your feedback on that spreadsheet, but guys, use the audio hangouts. We're trying to build a community, so jump in. I know not a lot of people are gonna jump in, but if you're there and you want to chat, these relationships. I think that's what matters most, and it will inevitably help you and help them. So it's a good way to just be the light and pay it forward. And before I hop off, remember the reason for the season, right? In the spirit of giving, like it is not stuff. You might not be ending the year where you wanted to be, but you can still end this year in a way that is life changing, just with a little bit of kindness, a little bit of love, a little bit of gifting of yourself in one way or another. So don't forget that aspect of Christmas and the reason for the season. So I will likely, hold on, let me look at the dates. I probably should go wrap presents or something. Don't laugh. Don't laugh too much. Yeah, next week,
Do we
Tuesday,
have
we
any
have,
big news on any
I,
of those days?
I don't know. I was like, next week we have, let's find out. We buying. Let's go today. I'm gonna go
I don't
to,
know of any big news. I mean, NFP's first week of January, but
so Monday, you've got federal, I don't even know what that is, but you guys know I'm not a news person. Tuesday's got some news, durable goods and GDP. So this should make an impact. 10 a.m.
And we have unemployment claims on Wednesday at 8:30 Eastern.
Jobless claims. That's only why is that one out of four or two? That one's two, so it's medium folder, not red folder.
FOMC is on the 30th. I noticed.
So I don't know what the props are doing if they're going to close half day for Wednesday. Does anybody know if the CME is going to be closed on Wednesday or just no?
That's a good question. I doubt they. That's a good question. Let me see if I can get CME hours.
Either way, guys, honestly, plan on it being muted, and even what's not muted is going to be a lot of unpredictableness. So
I might just stay out that day.
it would be a good time just to, back off a little bit. I mean, we can hang out, maybe trade one account if we're trying to pop a day or something. if we pop into the live group or the audio chat. But honestly, we're probably better off not doing much. Because look, that's next week. And then the week after that is going to be more of the same. So we're going to have Monday. Here we go. So the 29th, remember, a lot of people are going to be gone. There's obviously some news on Monday. Tuesday's the 30th, little bit of news. Oh, we got FOMC on Tuesday the 30th. And then Wednesday, and that's a holiday. So I would still plan on, there's going to be money to be made, but like it doesn't mean we have to participate. So I know some of these firms require one trade every 7 days. Um, but just be careful. PMI is on Wednesday. So there should be a couple good things.
Yeah, it look like Tuesday might be the most promising if there's anything worthwhile.
Okay, well maybe we'll still hop on Tuesday. I'll see what Rosie's got planned. I know after Christmas we're gonna head out a little bit. But I will definitely be still in town on Tuesday because we're gonna be home for Christmas and I'm super excited about it. But Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy New Year. Thank you all. Tell a friend, do all the things, and I will see you guys on the flip side. If I'm going live, I'll post. If you guys want to go on the audios, post. If not, maybe Tuesday, but if not, we'll see. No promises. No promises at all. But I'm gonna go get some coffee for this girl. Merry Christmas, you guys. I love you all.
Merry Christmas, Jenny. Tell Rosie hello and give her a hug for me.
Oh, I am. I'm gonna go jump on her right now. You know that girl's still sleeping.
Get
All
y'all
right.
Christmas playlist ready, y'all. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.